We're now going to focus our attention on key action operators in Project Reactor's Flux class. These operators don't modify a flux, but instead use it for side effects, and we'll be focusing on the doOnNext action operator. This action operator is used to add a behavior that's triggered when a flux emits an item. The behavior is passed as a consumer, which is a Java 8 functional interface, that's called back by the Project Reactor framework on successful completion of the emission of that flux. In other words, it's essentially a callback. It returns a flux that's not modified in any way, shape, or form. In particular, the type and/or the value of its elements are not changed at all. Let's take a look at a very simple example. We'll cover this in more detail when we get to the case study at the end of this lesson. This example is going to take a big fraction list and use the flux from iterable factory method operator to convert that into a flux. It will then go ahead and have the doOnNext action operator called. And what that does is for every big fraction that's emitted by this flux, the doOnNext action operator will arrange to call back on the log big fraction helper method, which goes ahead and logs the big fraction so you can see what the values are. RxJava has a doOnNext method in its observable class that works in precisely the same way, provides the same capabilities, has the same syntax, has the same semantics. Both of these methods are also very similar to the stream peak method that's part of the Java Streams interface. And in particular, here's a simple example that shows how we could use this. We create a list of 3 strings, A, B, and C. We convert that list of strings into a stream of strings, and then we use the peak method in order to print out the value of each of the strings before we then go ahead and use the map operator to convert the strings to uppercase and then collect them into a list that's returned by the collect terminal operation. So that's the end of this discussion of our first of several action operators. We'll be covering other action operators later as we go through other parts of the Flux API.